by Malik Kaware. Possession still with the Indians though. Sunil Chhetri goes for a shot, takes a ricochet of one of the Palestinian players, and eventually they clear it to safety. But this has been a lively period of play from the Indians. The Indian captain just warming up and getting his shooting range on the last couple of occasions. One of their defenders just down for the count. It looked like it was Abu Jazar, the 25-year-old who plays for Al Khalil, getting his 20th cap in a Palestinian t-shirt today. This ball was sent in, but a good attempt at a headed clearance from Raju Gaikwad, one of the defenders with decent height in the Indian 11. In fact, the centre-back duo of Gauram Singh and Raju Gaikwad, both with quite a bit of height about themselves. Lenny Rodriguez on to Gaikwad once again. The man who plays now with East Bengal in domestic football. Looking for a run there, but an offside going up against Mehtab Hussain, or rather Said Rahim Nabi, who was making a run down the left. Sunil Chhetri not too happy about that. Of us, so he'll just have to make do with what has been the decision. Just about 10 minutes left now in this first half, and it has been a pretty entertaining game. Lots of chances in open play for both teams. In fact, fair to say both goals coming off a little bit of good opportunism and not the least of all some rather sloppy defending. Both Mohammad Shabair as well as Sandeep Nandi were just made to look a little silly. Abu Hamad getting some support here. Number 13 is Abu Saleh. Abu Habib, the 23-year-old who's getting his 13th cap today, plays for Al Khalil in the Palestinian West Bank Premier League. Giving the ball away though, Francis Fernandez slipping this one through. It's lovely collection from Sunil Chhetri, but the flag going up against the Indian captain. A very, very late flag going up there from Shaji Kurian, the referee's assistant, on the near side. Once again, this ball has been slipped through, and this time it was the Indians who were looking to spring an offside trap, but it wasn't really exploited completely. In fact, for a while there was an opportunity for Iyad Abu Gharkoud, but good bit of goalkeeping from Sandeep Nandi to rush out when he knew his lines were in possible danger. And a nice humid evening here at Kochi with just the ever slight possibility of rain hovering around. Turning out to be a great contest. This first ever international meeting between these two teams, India and Palestine. Mohammad Shabair, like all goalkeepers, likes things to be nice and calm when he's got the ball, and that's why he just extols his defense to try and settle things down, to get a grip over proceedings. The visitors will be happy to take level pegging terms, or perhaps even a lead into the half-time break. They were under the cosh for most of this first half, but have just brought themselves back into it in the last 10 or 15 minutes with some very positive play on their behalf. And that has meant that now the Indians will just have to rethink a little bit of their strategy. Of course, the Indians have the benefit of having those 12 substitutes on their bench, and they can look at some changes perhaps at the half-time break. Give a few more players a go before the exertions of the AFC Challenge Cup qualifiers. India, remember, go over to Yangon to take on the likes of Myanmar as well as Guam, as well as Taipei, a team that they beat in the previous AFC Challenge Cup qualifiers back in 2011. Abu Harkoud now pretty much playing as a lone striker up front, not getting as much support as he did early on from Ashraf Numan. But the position now with the Indians, the player of the year, Saeed Rahim Nabi rather. And doing enough to ensure that some of the players in the Palestinian defense just gave that ball away. The kind of movement that defenders across the world always dread, because the player coming in from defense launches himself in and he gets a goal for himself. Yes, Wim Kovermans tells him, that's my son, that's why you're the best player in the country at the moment. You can transform what was basically a defensive situation into an attacking one, win a corner for the team and then put it away thanks to a fine delivery coming in from Mehtab Hussain, and India re-establish a one-goal advantage. It was a stinging header and it was right into the corner. The kinds which goalkeepers will always have a lot of trouble in dealing with, and Schwer concedes for the second time tonight as Saeed Rahim Nabi now puts India 2-1 up rather, with just about 5 minutes left of regulation time in this first half. Now, can the visitors reply in kind? 3 goals already, and we are not even halfway through this match. Promises to be a glorious evening of football here. Mehtab Hussain's delivery also must be commended. It was absolutely precise and pinpoint. Missed out on Chetri, but found its mark with Saeed Rahim Nabi, who sent in a bullet header right at the base of the post. In fact, took it a bit of a deflection of the inside part of the post. But all's well that ends well, and it wound itself at the back of the net, Mohammed Schwer's net, which has been breached twice tonight. First by Clifford Miranda and then by Saeed Rahim Nabi. So amongst all the youngsters, a couple of the old guard get their name up in lights, as is also the case for the visitors. Ashraf Numan, 26 years of age, one of their 2 foreign-based players in the starting lineup. This is Khadir Yusuf Abu Hamad, the man who plays for Wadi Al Nes. Nabi will allow this to get out of play. No problems at all for the Indians. They'll be happy to take this kind of a scoreline into the half-time break, just to reassess where they've been possibly going wrong a couple of times, just giving the ball away rather softly. But when they've moved forward, they've looked all right, and that was yet another occasion where there was a promising move, but it was just nipped in the bud by the Palestinians. Kochi waits and watches. This time Denzel Franco has no problems in dealing with that long ball sent in. Again looking for Ashraf. Abu Jazar. Back pass, just putting his defensive teammate Mahdi under a little bit of pressure. Gurmangi Singh effects a bit of a weak clearance, and it has been picked up here by Khadir Yusuf. This is looking quite dangerous from Palestine, but it's well dealt with by Raju Gaikwad. Haven't seen any of his long throws yet. Raju Gaikwad, normally very, very famous in Indian football for that. Mehtab Hussain, the man who provided the corner which led to the second goal, this time finding Sunil Chetri. Gets some support from Francis Fernandes. It was Alvin George who was looking to find Francis Fernandes yet again. But some desperate lunging defense from Palestine, just getting the ball away. Kaware, all the way back to the right of their particular goal. Raid Faris is the man there. He was the one who provided the pass for the only goal scored by the visitors thus far this evening. 3 goals already in this, and promises a lot more. This has been sent up looking there for the run of Abu Saleh, who found himself on in an attacking position for the very first time this evening. Normally he's been providing. Palestine showing that they have the ability to swap a few roles around the pitch, as is the case here with Abu Jazar, who was looking for an attacking run down the left flank, but good bit of defensive work from Gauramangi Singh, sending that ball out. India playing a lot more cohesively since conceding that goal, particularly in defense. It's been a lot more improved from the likes of Gauramangi as well as Raju Gaikwad. Ashraf forced to send in a rather desperate looking ball, looking for a run down the right from Abu Saleh, and that's what he seems to be communicating to his teammate. But it must be said in all fairness that it was quite far from his teammate. Excellent lights, excellent quality lights. In fact, not so long ago played that ODI, which India won quite comfortably. So a good time to be a sports fan in Kerala. Also have the Santosh Trophy, the National Football Championship coming up here soon. In fact, on a personal note, my last football memory of the city was the 2005 Santosh Trophy, and that was quite an experience, I can promise you that. Goa going on to win that particular edition back in 2005, beat Maharashtra in the final. 2 sensational semi-finals as well before that. But at the moment, this is about India-Palestine. Once again, sent in a useful looking ball. Good bit of defending by Denzel Franco. Denzel has put beyond him the ghosts of a few initial attacking forays by Ashraf, which caused him a lot of troubles. This time, yet again called into action. It was Gauramangi Singh who denies Ashraf a second stab of the cherry. Kaware, Al-Bahtari, back with Mali Kaware, the man from Al-Amari. Abu Jazar is looking to chase this one down, but some good composed defending by a young Denzel Franco, who's increasingly looking quite impressive on the field, and that's a sign of a quality player. Doesn't matter if you've had not the best of starts in a particular match, but it's how well you recover from the initial setbacks, and he's shown that he has the wherewithal to do that. So 2 minutes of injury time in this half, so just about a minute left in terms of football left to be played in this half, but promises for a very, very entertaining second 45 minutes, the way these two teams have played, the tempo at which this game has gone right on from kickoff. Here goes the scorer of the first goal of the night, Clifford Miranda. Always an exciting sight when a winger gets some good pace on him. This has been deflected back into play by Alvin George. It looked like it would be cleared across the line from Palestinian defense, but almost fell to Sunil Chhetri. So some good opportunism, some good coordination among the Indian forwards particularly. And that has made for a lot of half chances and chances falling the way of the Indians, 2 of which they have managed to put away. Clearance comes in from Lenny Rodriguez with just about 10 seconds left. Rowan will be closely looking at his particular watch. That is the final act of this. So Jamal Mahmood's Palestinian team got back into the game thanks to this man. Ashraf got a goal back in, but that was after the first goal had been scored by Clifford Miranda. And eventually Saeed Rahim Nabi giving India back the advantage. So India leading by 2-1 after the first 45 minutes of what has been a very, very exciting battle. And I'm sure you'll be back for much, much more here at the Nehru Stadium in Kochi.
You are watching 10 Action Live. साथ तुम हो तो है कम दूरियां, a little less is always better. सही गलत भी कुछ है कम, बिंदास हम, a little less is always better. ना कोई कमी यहाँ फिर भी ये ख्याल a little less is always better. A little less, a little less.
Panasonic believes in less worries for you and the earth by helping you consume less power and water with our green innovations. Say yes to less, more to life.
Panasonic, ideas for life.
Juventus are striking fear amongst the other sides in the UEFA Champions League. They take to the road to face the surprising survivors of the group stages, Celtic. Will Juve shatter Scottish hearts, or can the Hoops roar again and bring down the old lady? Don't miss any of the stars on the road to Wembley. Celtic versus Juventus on Tuesday, 12th of February from 11:55 p.m. Live and exclusive on 10 Action and 10 HD.
Brought to you by Enjoy Responsibly, UEFA Champions League sponsor.
Top 3 goals brought to you by Airtel Internet and Samsung Galaxy Note 2, incredibly creative.
साथ तुम हो तो है कम दूरियां a little less is always better. सही गलत भी कुछ है कम बिंदास हम a little less is always better. ना कोई कमी यहाँ फिर भी ये ख्याल a little less is always better. A little less, a little less.
Panasonic believes in less worries for you and the earth by helping you consume less power and water with our green innovations. Say yes to less, more to life.
Panasonic, ideas for life.
Our first case in India, the great Sherlock is clueless.
Truly, Watson, haven't found a decent cup of tea.
Ah, a white glove next to the victim.
Ah, so his left hand didn't know what his right was doing. How peculiar.
Holmes, don't get your fingers on it. Think, wasn't the butler wearing just one glove today?
And he had a very icy handshake. Ha, so the butler did it. How very cliched.
Indeed.
Tell me, Watson, how did you suddenly get quicker and sharper than me?
Elementary, my dear Holmes. You drink tea, I drink Red Bull.
The best of women's tennis comes to the 10 Network for the first time. WTA Qatar Total Open from Doha, 15th to 17th February. Live on 10 Action.
Free scoring, PSG are steamrolling any side that stand in their way. Having won 7 of their last 8 games in the French League, can the capital side hold on to top spot by continuing their impressive unbeaten run when they host Bastia? PSG versus Bastia, Saturday 9th of February, 12:55 a.m. Live and exclusive on 10 Action.
You are watching 10 Action live.
It's still 2-1 and it's actually half-time. It's half-time at the Nehru Stadium in Kochi, and the fans have been treated to some quite exciting football in the first 45 minutes of this first ever encounter between India and Palestine. Something about this ground at Kochi which always provides for great entertainment, and that has pretty much been the case in the first 45 minutes. India getting things moving with some pretty positive football right in the first few minutes. This was the first opportunity which almost fell their way. Now Ashraf Numan has of course been a very, very formidable player to deal with for all of the Indian defenders, and this was one of the first occasions when he registered his intentions, proving to be quite a dangerous customer. Getting some good possession, getting some good passes as well from some of his teammates. Eventually the shot going across without any damage done. Now this was the first Indian move which led to the goal. Alvin George with the first attempt, which was blocked by the captain, it seems. It was Al Bahadari who got his foot across to it, but it fell at the feet of Clifford Miranda, and he managed to put that away. But they were quite quick to reply, in fact, Palestine getting their first goal of the evening. The pass coming in from Abu Saleh, and the finish scored by Ashraf Numan, their number 7, who's looked very, very useful down that left flank. Then a period of good pressure from the Indians. This little bit of work between Clifford Miranda as well as Saeed Rahim Nabi, with Sunil Chhetri also lending a hand. And this was the third goal of the evening. Saeed Rahim Nabi knocking it in from a corner taken by Mehtab Hussain. And right towards the end, Palestine with a pretty useful attempt, just getting themselves into some good positions, but some good tight defending by the Indians, and in particular the likes of Raju Gaikwad as well as Gauramangi Singh. So that meant that at the half-time interval, the two teams trudged off the Kalur pitch here with a 2-1 lead established for themselves. Well, over the last year or so, much of the talk has centered around the Indian coach, Wim Kovermans. And just before the game, which is now, of course, being played in, or rather is under a break with a little bit of a drizzle around here, we got an opportunity to catch up with Wim Kovermans. Here's what he had to say.
Wim, thank you for talking to us. You've been with the team for quite a while now. How's the experience been?
Very good so far. Very good. I enjoy it very much, especially on match days when the fans are there.
The Nehru Cup victory was awesome, but do you think it's been a long period since you played then? I mean,
yeah, it is, but that's the part of being a national team coach. You don't have the players every day. Of course, we had a great result in the Nehru Cup because I had the boys for 4 or 5 weeks together. But we also want to play these FIFA date games. That means that we only have 2-3 days to prepare ourselves, and that's something that that the boys have to get used to as well, because we have to play a lot of games to get more experience and to try to go higher on the ranking. And this is also a preparation match for the AFC Challenge Cup in March.
Looking forward to the future, what changes would you like to bring to the Indian system of football?
Well, we started in the Nehru Cup with a certain style, and international football is so different than any competition in any country because it's so much faster. That's the aim for the national team and for the future, and hopefully the players learn a lot from it, and we were able to qualify for the big tournaments here in Asia.
Apart from football, how's India been to you? Have you enjoyed the food, the culture here?
Yeah, from day one I enjoyed it very much, including the food. It's incredible, but I enjoyed it. India have lovely people. They are crazy about football, but still we have to grow and we have to improve a lot of things.
Thank you for talking to us. All the best.
Okay, thank you.
Well, Wim, the love of the people of India will continue as long as your team keeps producing the kind of results or the kind of football that they've played thus far this evening. That's one of the sections of the stadium which doesn't have so much of a crowd, but the rest of it is just nice and thriving, enjoying this evening's football. 45 minutes which are left, and we'll be back with that after the short break.
You are watching 10 Action live.
साथ तुम हो तो है कम दूरियां, a little less is always better. सही गलत भी कुछ है कम, बिंदास हम, a little less is always better. ना कोई कमी यहाँ, फिर भी ये ख्याल, a little less is always better. A little less, a little less.
Panasonic believes in less worries for you and the earth by helping you consume less power and water with our green innovations. Say yes to less, more to life.
Panasonic, ideas for life.
It's one of the oldest and most successful clubs of Europe that has fielded some of the most talented players of all time. Its greatest side was the last to retain the European Cup, a feat that may never be repeated. 18 Serie A championships, 7 European Cups, 2 UEFA Cups, and the FIFA Club World Cup. Its history and heritage deserve respect. It's football magical to watch. AC Milan TV's Big Match. On 10 Action, we believe in football.
साथ तुम हो तो है कम दूरियां, a little less is always better. सही गलत भी कुछ है कम, बिंदास पास हम a little less is always better. ना कोई कमी यहाँ फिर भी ये ख्याल a little less is always better. A little less, a little less.
Panasonic believes in less worries for you and the earth by helping you consume less power and water with our green innovations. Say yes to less, more to life.
Panasonic. Ideas for life.
Team Pakistan failed to show enough resistance against the lethal attack of the Proteus and collapsed to their lowest ever total in a test. With the prospect of the South Africans' dominance increasing, Miss Barr's men will need a new game plan if they're to show they're up for the fight against the Rainbow Nation in the remaining test. Don't miss the crucial second test, South Africa against Pakistan, 14th of February, live on 10 Cricket and 10 HD.
This broadcast of the Sunfall Test Series, co-presented by Vodafone. Centrefresh Ocean, cooling crystals ke saath. And Samsung Galaxy Note 2, incredibly creative, in association with Servo Futura Synth from Indian Oil. And Fog Body Spray.
The Europa League returns across the 10 network, with every match crucial to avoid elimination. The action unfolds as Liverpool look for a breakthrough against their tough Russian counterparts, Zenit Petersburg. Followed by Tottenham's enticing tie against the French powerhouse Lyon. And there's further Premier League interest as the Fallen Blues look to restart their campaign in Europa against Sparta Prague. The UEFA Europa League round of 32, Thursday, 14th of February, from 10 p.m, live and exclusive across the 10 network.
This broadcast brought to you by It's Nothing Like Anything Micromax and Airtel Internet.
You are watching 10 Action Live.
This is the story of the first 45 minutes thus far. India leading by 2-1, and it's a bit of a rainy evening thus far at Kochi, but there's a lot of support for both teams, a lot of support for the Palestinians as well. And the stadium has witnessed some great football in the past, and that is pretty much the case today as well. An early goal coming in from Clifford Miranda, just perhaps the right kind of recipe. And then the equalizer coming in from Ashraf Numan before India going ahead yet again, thanks to this bullet header coming in from Saeed Rahim Nabi. The AIFF Player of the Year just justifying that tag with a fine finish from a move which actually began as a result of some great work from him in the defensive third of India's pitch. None of the precipitation doing anything to dampen the spirits of the lively crowd which has turned up at the Nehru Stadium in Kochi. Lots of heroes of tomorrow possibly coming in. There's a Spanish jersey out there as well. It'll be quite useful if he can play like some of the Spaniard national team members. They of course also wear red, as do the Palestinians. So just coming off, looking quite relaxed at the moment. In fact, most of their substitutes hanging around pretty much at the pitch side. In fact, they are going to effect a change. Number 14 will be coming out. Malik Kawari will be coming out. And the man replacing him will be Mahmoud Sheikh Qasim. Mahmoud Sheikh Qasim, 19-year-old midfielder, plays for Al Amari, whose club currently 6th out of 12 teams in the West Bank Premier League. But an invaluable experience for him to come in and just get a little bit of experience at the highest level. Of course, the crowd support predominantly, one would not be surprised to note, is still in favor of the Indians. Sunil Chhetri yet to score tonight, but he has had a role to play on a couple of occasions, extracting a few frantic attempts at clearances from the Palestinian defenders. Just a confirmation of the change that's about to happen. Malik Aware going out, and this young man, Mahmoud Sheikh Qasim, going to come in. Goal scorer of the night for Palestine was just looking to get his act together for this particular half as well. He's doing most of the talking here. Is Ashraf Al-Fawagra. It has really been like a great experience pretty much in every sense, both on and off the pitch for the Palestinians. One of the local newspapers showing a picture of them going around the electronics bazaar of Kochi looking for some good deals on mobile phones. So one would think that they have had a pretty good time of it in terms of visiting the city, going around. There's a lot to see. And they'll be looking to just translate a little bit of that inspiration onto the pitch here for the second 45 minutes. It has been a pretty even contest, but the Indians, it must be said, have been dominant by and large. The two best opportunities fell to them, and they made sure that they took them away. Rowan just confirming with everybody by the touchline that we are good to go, just counting all the number of players on the pitch, with the number of players on the Indian squad at least. Might be just a little bit of human error at times, but there are 11. That's how he has counted them. It will be the Palestine team which will kick things off in the second half. And the very first touch of the ball will come in from the two, Ashraf Numan Al-Fawagra and Iyad Abu Gharkoud. The two strikers who have been quite fancy for them, but they've just been let down a little bit by the defense at times. And in midfield, there have been a few easy giveaways. This time, Palestine are going from left to right on your TV screens. They are playing in red, and up against them in blue are the Bhangra boys of India, leading by 2-1, playing from right to left. Here at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in Kalur in Kochi, in the football crazy state of Kerala, down by the south of India. Possession with the visiting side. They had a good spell of play towards the latter part of that first half. In fact, that second goal, it could be said, came a little bit against the run of play, because before that they had initiated a few pretty useful attacks and put the Indian goal under some pressure. But Sandeep Nandi has had a good game, it must be said. Every time he's been required to come out and clear the ranks for his younger defenders, he's been right on the ball. This time he'll get this back pass. He doesn't clear it all that well. Just got a little bit of a bobble from this slightly uneven pitch. One of the perils of having football matches on a pitch which is shared by the cricket team as well. Possibly took a bounce of what might have been one of the practice pitches during the cricket match. Now there's a chance here for Palestine. It's a shot as well. It's a goal as well. It's a fine finish by Abu Saleh, and that has brought the visitors right back into it. The Indian defense just for a split second going to sleep, and it was pounced upon by the 29-year-old who plays his football at the Hilal Al-Quds. The Palestinian footballers thanked the turf, and there was a role to play because that initial missed clearance came because of the turf, but that was a super finish. He got that space. He knew he had only a few seconds before the Indian defenders would converge on that ball, and he released it. He pulled the trigger and got the desired result. So Palestine have fought their way back into this match inside pretty much the first couple of minutes of the second half. They have made this score look a very, very respectable 2-all. So it's back on level pegging terms. Something to think about for this man. The Indians haven't seen too much of the ball thus far in the first 2.5 minutes, although 30 seconds or so were possibly lost because of the celebrations following that goal. But the early signs looking quite positive from the Palestinian perspective. Once again, a long ball looking for that man, Ashraf. Sandeep Nandi forced into an acrobatic save. It's the other goal scorer of the night, Abu Saleh, looking for Ashraf, but just a tad too long for him. Mehtab Hussain gets this ball away. Chance now for the Indians to pile some pressure of their own. Francisco Fernandez. Given away in midfield. Long ball, but the offside flag will go up against Ashraf. Number 13 can be unlucky for some, but quite clearly Abu Saleh revels in it, and that was a fine finish as well. One would think the goal of the night, possibly a contender alongside the one scored by Clifford Miranda. In fact, all four have been extremely good finishes. Good opportunistic strikes, and considering that they've come off guys who don't normally score, makes them all the more sweeter for all four men who have found their name up in lights this evening. The Palestinian team has had a little bit of success of late. They finished semi-finalists at the last AFC Challenge Cup in 2012 in Kathmandu. Looking to come forward once again. It's not very well cleared, and the challenge has come in, and he's pointed to the spot. So Abu Saleh now has put a chance for some further misery to be heaped on the Indian defense, and the guilty party on this occasion was Said Rahim Nabi. The initial missed clearance was by Raju Gaikwad, who never got really enough of a connection on this ball. And then Said Rahim Nabi, well, that is a close call. It wasn't too much of a push, it must be said. There was definite contact, but it's fair to say that Abu Saleh milked it well. But nevertheless, that's what football is often about. And one would think that this is a great opportunity now for the Palestinians to go ahead for the first time this evening. It looks like it will be Ashraf Al-Fawagra looking to get his second goal of the night. Very, very useful footballer. Gets a little shake of the hand from Sandeep Nandi. Good to see the sportsman spirit between the two men. Striker who also drops into midfield. Can Nandi deny Ashraf? It's slotted coolly home, and Palestine have the lead. 51st minute. Wim Kovermans has some trouble on his hands, because for the first time this evening, it is the visitors who have a 2-3 lead going into the remaining 40 minutes or so of this match. Some innovative celebrations coming in from the Palestinians, and they have every right to be quite pleased with themselves. Very easy finish, wrong-footed Sandeep Nandi. In fact, Nandi committed to going on to his left, and that's where he was quite cool in slotting it home.
Come on, guys! Come on!
Look at how that has changed in the matter of 6 minutes. They have come out all guns blazing, have Palestine, and they have found those 2 goals they needed to now exert pressure on the home side. This will be a good tester now for these young Indian players on the pitch, and the few of them who are left on the bench and could be tried at some stage soon by coach Wim Kovermans. Sunil Chhetri wins a free kick for himself from a tackle from his opposite number, Al-Bakhdiri. Abdul Latif Al-Bakhdiri, 28 years of age, plays with Al-Wahdat in Jordan. In fact, plays in Saudi at the moment, but has spent a few seasons in Jordan before this. And just seems to be complaining of some cramps there. Jamal Mahmood just wondering if he will need to replace his skipper. No, the captain says, I'm all right. I can walk it off. And, well, he would want to be on the pitch and try and finish this off. This is quite the most remarkable turnaround, but it has been very well orchestrated by Palestine. They've looked like a transformed unit since coming out. And they have found 2 goals inside the first 6 minutes to overturn the scoreline and put the pressure right back on the Indians. Clifford Miranda, the scorer of the 4th goal tonight, sending this ball in. Schber punches it away, but in the process seems to have hurt himself. Also a bit of a collision with the Indian captain. Sunil Chhetri is also down for the count. Let's just take a look at what exactly happened there. Definitely both men committed to that. It's the head going into the midriff. Never a comfortable situation for either person. full commitment though, which is good to see. Just a bit of a knock. A little bit of that magic spray should work fine for both men. Sunil Chetri seems all right, and Schwer soon will also find himself on his foot. He'll be quite happy because whatever he said at half-time definitely worked. He didn't have any of his substitutes inside the dressing room. In fact, all of the Indian squad was inside at that point of time, and one can only wonder, was there just a little bit of complacency which crept into the Indian ranks? Because the first 45 minutes they did play quite fluently. But since coming on in these 9 minutes or so that we've had, there's just not been that much of cohesion, particularly in defense, which has been exploited rather ruthlessly by the visitors from Palestine. Ashraf Numan thus far with 2 goals for the night, the Bethlehem-born striker, taking himself up to 6 goals in 32 caps since his debut back in 2009. He scored one of the goals in their AFC Challenge Cup victory over 2-0 victory rather over Maldives, which was one of 2 victories by that scoreline that they had. And that'll give them a lot of confidence going forward to the AFC Challenge Cup qualification, which they play soon in Nepal as well. This time a long-range attempt, but not accurate enough from Abu Habib. Abdul Hamid Abu Habib plays for Al Khalil, inspired to take up football by his brother Muhammad, whom he followed to the club Shabab Khan Yunus and also the national team. Now plays for Markaz Balata. Free kick for the Indians. Nabi on through to Mehtab Hussain. This is Gauramangi. India just need to hold on to the ball for slightly longer periods of time. They haven't done that thus far in the second half. All the way back to Sandeep Nandi. Couldn't have asked for a more eventful return to the national colours. A big man from West Bengal. Sunil Chetri on to Lenny Rodriguez. This is beautifully picked up by Francis Fernandes. In fact, the combination play between the likes of Francis as well as Lenny as well as Alvin has been quite a sight to behold. But now some defensive duties to do unless that shot comes in. Ashraf there just apologizing to both his coach as well as his teammates because that was a horrible miscalculation, young man. One of the Palestinian players set to come onto the pitch. It will be Nadeem Barghouti. Plays as a centre-back. So possibly will be replacing the captain, Abdul Latif Al-Bahadri rather. Can the Indians exploit perhaps that opportunity with the captain in the heart of defense, a little injured, not unable to be at 100%. This is a good time before they make that substitution. Here comes Said Rahim Nabi. He's cutting across, creating some space for himself, goes for a shoot as well. And Schwer had to scramble that away for a corner. Good attempt from the man who's already got 1 goal for the night. This is the kind of confidence which Indian players in the recent past have lacked at times, but Said Rahim Nabi taking on the defense all by himself and also going for goal. And Schwer in the end figuring out that discretion is the better part of valor, not looking to let that go by, just making sure that there was no damage done on that occasion. Clifford sending this one in, and yet again Nabi was very close to it. This man has been at the center of everything positive that the Indians have done. And yet again it was Nabi. Also watch for Gauramangi right behind him. He had a chance, but Nabi was not going to let that go. Was just offset a little bit by the defensive efforts of this man, Raid Fares. Well, the captain is down for the count. Al-Badri is possibly not going to be involved in any future action. And he will be replaced by Nadeem Barakhta. Nadeem, 23-year-old, just transferred from Al Khalil to Al Amari in 2011. Debut in the 2010 AFC Challenge Cup. And he will be effectively earning his 12th cap for Palestine this evening. Might just change the dynamics just a little bit because their captain was doing a very fine job. Al-Badri was just holding that defense together with his huge presence. And in particular was having a very, very nice, intense physical contest against his opposite number, the Indian captain, Sunil Chhetri. So with Nadeem coming in position for the captain, that might just spice this defensive battle up a little bit. So effectively 2 changes effected already. Earlier it was Kaware who made way for Mahmood. This is more of an enforced substitution, of course. So that change has been effected. Al-Badri will, of course, want to try and preserve his best for the AFC Challenge Cup qualifiers coming up in March. This ball sent in by Abu Jazar, but the offside flag going up against Ashraf, who's found himself at the wrong end of the stick in terms of offside decisions on a few occasions, and he just gives a bit of a quizzical expression to Shaji Kurian, referee's assistant on the near side of the field to us. Gurmangi Singh and Raju Gaikwad had a very good partnership in the first half, which kept a lot of attacks at bay, but every time the goals have come in, they have been found wanting, just allowed a few runs from behind them. And that will be one defensive worry which Wim Kovermans will need to plug over the remaining 30 minutes of this match. Mehtab Hussain. Lenny Rodriguez. Francisco. Loses out on possession. Here's a chance for a counter-attack from Palestine, but it's well done by Nabi. Underscoring his value to the side yet again. He's got a good run moving forward, but doesn't receive that return pass from Alvin George. Khadir Yusuf does the cleaning up. A little bit of aerial ping pong. Eventually lands in possession of the Indians. He's definitely down for the count, isn't he? Al-Badri has been in the woes this evening, but at the moment he'll have some worrying to do, looking over his shoulder, seeing his goalkeeper having to scramble towards that ball, but the sting of that shot taken off by the defender who came in, Nadeem. Khadir Yusuf.